6'5" boy. All right, Giggles Without Laughs. Giggles Without Limits. That's stupid. Name of the show is Giggle Without Limits. All right, brought to you by L.O.A.B. Productions. Life of a Boss. I don't know if y'all know this. This is Shalonda's shirt from about 7-8 years ago. This one worn out. I probably had this one for a minute. The Life of. I got a couple different ones. I got a purple one too. Anyway, which probably would work better today, but I ain't gonna tell you how the morning started. Anyway, the show gets started. It's always something. We got a comedian, Eric Hearn, in the building. Eric Hearn?
Yeah, but
I'm
a comedian.
You're not a comedian?
No, I'm not a comedian. I'm a radio host, podcast.
Okay.
So, don't be trying to keep
Yeah, so dude say, so he was telling us he was a comedian. That's how he got in here. So I don't even know how he in here. Hold on, man. We're going to take a break, change guests out. Nah, just playing, man. Nah, that's good. Very multi-talented brother in here, but he does, you got on a comedy shirt.
Well, I got
you promote the comedy.
That's me right there.
That's what's up. I saw that. Sponsored by Truth.
Yeah,
my man.
My man. By me,
so yeah, Eric Hearn in the building.
I think I heard about your podcast. Cause I think a couple people I know been on it.
Yeah.
Okay. So okay.
Yeah, you heard of the Truth Podcast. That's what's up. Also, we got Larry Clayton in here. Now he is a comedian, even though when he be talking like, nah, I don't do comedy, all that shit. But it's amazing though. But you've been on here a lot, so you family with the show. It's all good.
Yes,
and man, you guys, we just getting started here this morning, and everybody knows Giggles Without Limits is kind of. We just get the camera rolling and start talking. But before we got the camera started, because the show got started late. I don't.
Long time, but
look, I had to call Shalonda. She it's just so fun. I'm like, it's a funny story. But anyway, you were telling a story before we got started now about how we was talking about traveling in planes, and you was telling the story about when you was a kid on the plane. So give us, tell us the story, Larry. Tell us the story.
All right, so I was 9 years old. My family's from Virginia. Came out here to visit family. I didn't want to leave, so they let me stay. About a month later, it's time for me to go back. The plane I'm supposed to get on was delayed. No, I'm sorry, it wasn't delayed. I wound up getting on a different plane.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't let my parents know this, so they're waiting at the tarmac for me. And the plane I'm supposed to be on comes in. From what I was told, one of the front wheels broke as landed, and then just slid down the tarmac.
Whoa!
Damn.
Closed that tarmac off.
Wow.
I get there.
I could see this going crazy.
There's people screaming, they're crying, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I'm looking for my parents. My daddy's holding my mama, and she's just screaming like, "My baby!"
Lord.
And I don't know why.
Okay.
I'm like, it just could be my fucked up psyche, but every now and then I think back to that and just laugh.
I can see it. You can see the heartfelt, oh man, it's really emotional. I know my parents love me. My mama loved me.
It's like, God damn, you being embarrassing right now.
Right?
Come on.
That's wild.
If she ever sees this, she gonna be pissed.
I know she would be pissed. She would be pissed, man. But so you arrive on another plane, and then how do you reunite with the family?
I just walk up and I'm seeing. People.
So you just see so
I didn't see the crash. It wasn't until after.
Right.
My mama grabbed me crying. I'm like, what's going on? She's like, they said your plane crashed and they couldn't find you.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't on it. Like,
you wasn't on there.
Yeah,
but they ain't let you. They ain't let them know.
But how? But that was back in 90.
That's a lawsuit.
That's a lawsuit.
But how were they gonna call my parents? There was no cell phone.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
So it's like they really.
That's funny though, because I could imagine, like how we take stuff for granted like that now.
Yeah.
And because I was telling somebody, because like, man, people swear to God, I be looking at the phone when they be calling. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you just ain't answering. Like, motherfucker, I don't be having my phone. I put my phone down, nigga, and leave, go be somewhere else and shit. So because I can do that, but like growing up, you know what I'm saying? You right. Like, and I was thinking this the other day, because I was just driving and I was thinking, like, how did we connect with each other? Like, how did we find shit? Like,
exactly.
Like I remember being over people's houses and shit, And like I go like, how the fuck did we get over there? We didn't have no GPS, and we wasn't calling them on cell phones.
What you did
like
was
your
map
car
quest.
before was over by the such, but still,
but
like
MapQuest.
even if you get lost in the middle of some shit, right? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, MapQuest. That's still like
that was like
90s.
That was like late 90s.
Nigga, I'm a little older than y'all, so nigga, like it was house phones. If you had a cell phone, you was a doctor or sold dope. Like it was not it was no in between. Nobody else had a cell phone. Like you know what I'm saying? This nigga's important or he's important. You know what I'm saying?
I remember going on long ass road trips. Daddy driving, mama got the big ass map. Just
yeah.
I'm like,
I
still
you can't find a map now, bro.
You can't find no map.
You can't. You go to find. You used to be in the gas station. You gotta go to Barnes and Noble. Go look in a whole new section. The map section.
Man.
Who's gonna go to the bookstore to get a map?
Get an automatic full of maps.
But yeah, that's wild though, bro. That's
crazy.
That's something that, like I said, man, because I thought about this girls because I was riding through North Carolina. Somebody, I was like, I remember when what's her name still over here. But like, how did we know she lived over there? Like, how did we know to get there? Because she had moved from somewhere else. It's like, it's just, you know how people give you directions, but that's funny. Like now the GPS. I mean, I know where stuff is and still use the GPS.
I had to use GPS. I know where it's at. Like I have a vision, but man, these phones are making us stupider. Everything like we ever needed is right. Like if I got a question, all I gotta do is just doop, and it's right there.
Yeah, it's kind of sad. It's kind of sad. Like you don't even second guess. I'm bad now. I mean, I've learned, man. It's up, man. This is dangerous. So, like, I might be okay. So say you. Because I program radio stations, I DJ, so I'm always dealing with music, with playlists and stuff. So somebody will be like, hey, I need some shit I don't necessarily do or know the whole thing about. So they're like, oh, I need 2 CDs I still got people buy CDs.
Okay.
I got one client, one solid client. He's still, nigga still. Anyway, King of Old School, shout out to Uncle Jim. Anyway, he still got CDs. So long story short, he may be like, I need up-tempo country songs, like new songs though, not, because he don't know either. So it's like, it ain't what he usually plays. So we got, Chat GPT, be like, what's the top 60 songs in the last da-da-da-da that's party country?
Wow.
You eat a list, where it go, you go check them. It's just now, it's like, you know, the research on stuff is good, you know. Yeah. I look up recipes, you know what I'm saying? Such like, shit I had, like, you know.
Like you said, they're making us stupider. That's what it is.
Yeah. I mean,
well, I think it's changing. I think it's changing the muscle, like where the muscle is. Like, I like some stuff, like, and I get what you're saying, but okay, let's say you have a problem with writing. Like, you don't really like to write letters. Yeah. You don't really. No, you don't like. It's hard to get started writing a letter. Yeah. Most things, once you get started, you can work your way through it. But a lot of times, like, how do I start this? Mm-hmm. And I think sometimes it's because I do a lot of stuff like that. I do a lot of different stuff that people ask me to do because I don't have no job. So whatever somebody asks me to do, I have to figure out like I can do it. Nigga asked me one time, "Don't you got a street team?" Yeah. What you need? Need you pass out these flyers? Man, I got you. Like shit. What you gonna charge me? Hold on, let me see. What they charge? You know what I'm saying? We've done that kind of stuff. But yeah, so man, yeah, that's just about the hustle, bro. Like all that kind of stuff, man.
Exactly.
But no, it kind of depends on how you use it. It's a tool. It's a tool. It should be a tool.
The hustle, if you're gonna use it, like I'm not gonna select. There's sometimes where like there's an effect I want to do. Mm. I know I don't know how to do it. Mm. Bet. Yeah, that's something different, but it's like
looking it up or something.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, using it as your brain, using it as like I don't like.
Well, I think it should be a tool. I think it should anything like a tool, just like YouTube. Like YouTube, you can watch YouTube videos of a bunch of bullshit all day. But like when you need to fix the dryer or you need to replace the light on your car, and you're like, that shit save you money and time. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, it done gave me confidence to do all kind of shit like that I can't do. I got a washer been broke apart for the last about month right now. I fixed the dryer last year, so I figured I'm gonna fix this washer. You know what I'm saying? But I mean but my wife said, you know what? I think you just need to buy a new washer because I'm trying to save this washer. But I mean, so okay. So let me ask you, Eric. You got a lot of stuff going on. So tell us a little bit about what you do. I know you talking. You got podcasts. You do radio. Tell us a little bit about what you got going.
Well, I got a radio show on KABF. I do every Tuesday called the Truth Radio Show. It's what I call a genreless show. Like I don't play. It's nothing I won't play.
Right.
If it hit, if I feel it, if it's a vibe, I'm playing it. I don't care who it is, what they look like.
Right.
If it's a good song.
What era it's from, whatever you play. Right.
I feel like I put people like in a musical time machine. I jump back and forth.
Right.
Within one show.
I like
you know what I'm
that.
saying? I'm going back and forth within one show. So I have, because KBF have a website, that KBF.org.
There you go.
You can hear the Truth Radio Show. And I have people listening from, Chicago, which I'm from Chicago, Atlanta, Hawaii, Arizona, New York, all over. So I play all different kinds of music because people send me stuff. They send me, hey, I want to hear this. Play this for me. So if it sounds good, I'm playing it. So I just started that this year when I got here because I just moved here in October.
Okay. So it's called Truth. So what? So okay, you play music. You got commentary. You talk. You do interviews. What do you do?
I have 2 podcasts. I do Truth podcast. Truth is an acronym, which means the real offspring of failure.
Okay.
The meaning of the real offspring of failure is basically it means success. Like you can't have success without failure.
True.
There's no success you can ever have or you can ever enjoy that didn't involve some type of failure. So I've been using that acronym and that word since I was 15 years old because I used to rap. That's
your brand. I already know when you said that. Well, I already knew where you was going, bro. Yes. I already knew where you was going. I already know. We here.
Exactly.
That's how it all got started.
That's been my thing for a minute. So that's how my podcast is kind of set up, where people I talk to, upcoming comedians, entrepreneurs, usually people black owned, business owners and everything like that, or just anybody. Pretty much it's about having a conversation, authentic conversation, and I want to hear your story.
Right.
You got to have a story. And I always tell people, like, the main thing is always make sure you have a story. I don't give a shit what you're doing, how you doing it. Just have a story. So when they put that little pamphlet together at the end of the day, that little pamphlet, that last pamphlet, that last pamphlet they put together, just make sure you got a story. You know what I'm saying? That's why I tell my family, don't put my jobs and all that. Right. Tell my story.
He worked at the right.
So just have a story. So I usually have people on, when I do have people on, we usually just talk about, what your failures were, where you came from, what's that moment that you fall, because we all got those moments. We all have those moments where you get knocked on your ass and you got to get up. You know what I'm saying? So if you ain't had those moments, then you ain't had no success, you ain't had no life. And we usually have to have those moments to be where we're at. So down talking to me, you already had those moments because you are where you are. You know what I'm saying?
That's like you saying the failures you have to to succeed. The things that if you don't try, of course you won't succeed. Like you won't get anywhere. But that's kind of the thing that you try to convey to the younger people. I got kids, and that's really the conversation I was having with my son, because he started a new job and he was frustrated because he was moving slow, or they said he was taking a long time, or this and that, or about, because these kids don't know. We had a conversation. He was saying, because I was saying we need to practice making change. And I'm saying it being funny because I saw one of his friends. Like I got my kids' friends, I run into, and I've been knowing them since they was little kids. Like you see somebody since they was 5 or 6. Now they 20. 22, and they grow. You still see the little kids, and you're like, I remember little such and such. Exactly. And, in the neighborhood. And the dude was a manager at one of the fast food places. I ain't even gonna stay with him, but long story short, I was in there one day. It was fucking hell, bro. Like it looked like soda was coming out the freestyle machine, and people. It was somebody behind me complaining. Somebody had just walked in. People was waiting on shit. And he was counting his change, and to me, I was laughing my ass off. So I'm like, he taking his time. It ain't none of this shit. He oblivious. He like, fuck y'all. You know what I'm saying? And this shit to me. Wow. So I'm telling my son about, I see you got anything. I was like, y'all motherfuckers need to learn how to count change. So, long story short, so on the new job, I was like, they're gonna have you on the register. He's like, okay. So he's like, man, we probably need to get some money, dude. I was like, he said, Dad, I really never even used cash that much. He's like, when I was a little kid, like when we first learned how to count, he's like, but most of the time since I've been having my own money, I use a card or we do this, you know what I'm saying? And I like, that's crazy. I was like, man, that's crazy. When I was born in Michigan. So in Michigan, we used to have the 10 cent deposit on all bottles, right? You know what I'm saying? So I'm talking about every bottle. I'm talking about a 2-liter plastic bottle, a 6-pack every bottle was a dime. So like you couldn't throw nothing away. Like people see you throwing a bottle away, like you know what I'm saying? That's money. That's like money, exactly. As a kid, I could take like a crate of bottles collected and go, you know, buy whatever I want from the store. You know what I'm saying? Right. So I just so a dime means something. You know what I'm saying? So that's the crazy kind of stuff. That's why you start talking about technology. Like my kid's so stupid. I'm talking to my son. I said, what time is it? He said, Siri, what time is it? I'm like, motherfucker, you got to look at the phone. The clock is right there. Right there on the phone. You can see it. Yep. Siri, what time is it? I was like, y'all sad.
I guess I misspoke earlier. It don't make us stupid or make us lazy.
Make you lazy. Yeah.
Well, it makes us more dependent on technology.
Well, but okay, so check this out, though. There's another side to it. Now it make you smart. Like smart to the point to where people don't like you. Because arguments that people have and their justification is let's Google it. Let's Google it. They on Wikipedia. They say you be arguing like you could go in on somebody. Exactly. Like you know. So you know it's funny like how people think they know stuff just from Googling. There's some stuff you can't Google. So
I do have a question for you, Chicago. Hey, you're from Chicago too, right?
No, I'm from Atlanta. Well, I'm from Michigan, but you know, I grew up in Atlanta.
Okay. You heard the news about Larry Hoover?
Yeah, I did.
How did you feel about that?
I don't give a shit.
Like always that I asked, there was people crying that I'm like, this nigga is still in jail. He still got 200 years.
State charges.
Yeah.
For one, okay, let me address that real quick for just one kick because I actually was going to do a show about that last night because I was so like amped up about that. But I'm gonna address that real quick. That's the dumbest shit in the world because if I can say it.
No, you can say whatever you want to say.
These niggas out here acting like niggas because why y'all out here championing a fucking criminal?
Exactly.
This is a criminal. This is a gangbanger. This is a man who in jail for murder.
Yeah.
This is a drug dealer. This is a goddamn criminal. What are we celebrating?
Right.
What are we celebrating? I don't give a shit about. Look, I grew up in Chicago.
And the legacy. Think about it though. Just think about this. Like y'all celebrating shit like how bad Chicago shit is to this day based on that shit. Like based on him.
Based on some bullshit.
Based on them in particular. Like if you go back and we tell ourselves this story. We mythologize it like, you know, you may be an activist for the people after the fact, and maybe since he's been in prison for the last 20, maybe the last 20 to 30 years, he's been on this activist. But that was a part of the. It's kind of like okay. When you really do shit, and like this is a problem with me growing up in, like I was born in Flint, and the mentality watch yourself, buddy. Watch yourself now.
The only thing I know about Flint is they
but see, that's the sad part. That's the propaganda. I don't even want to get into that. Like that's some bullshit from like some recent history. Like, you know, that wasn't our fault. You know,
but that's the same.
That
thing
wasn't our fault. That wasn't our fault.
When you tell somebody you from Chicago.
Oh yeah.
First thing you from Chicago.
You from Chicago, and then go back to the gangs and the shooting. Now you can't walk around.
Like,
you can't do this, and that.
Bullshit.
And it's that's
bullshit.
And I remember though, even in Flint though, when I was a kid, there was a time when Flint was the murder capital, and we was proud. That was the craziest shit. Like you know,
exactly.
Pine Bluff,
banging a Little Rock back in the 90s and all that shit. Yeah.
I think that's just because. I ain't gonna say they killed the real leaders. And we just had, I remember growing up, the drug dealers in the neighborhood, the gangbangers, giving us money.
Exactly.
Hey, yo, ain't breaking us. So it's like we tend to look up to.
Well, you like, well, that's somebody with money. That look like money and power, right?
Yeah.
But when you think about it, okay, but what about these other people in the neighborhood that's buying the shit, that's giving you the money, that's giving you the money to get you? Like, and that's the shit, like, because I know how it was growing up. And you see, like, and then they got the new Jordans. Like, we all 16, 15 years old. But this nigga he got 3 pair of Jordans.
Exactly.
He got, look, they talk about all the fun and all the shit with the, you know, the fiends.
Yeah.
Like, see, I was growing up in the 80s and early in like 90s. So
Yeah, see, that's when I
a lot of that shit, like when it first was, like you really saw, like we really glorified it. And I remember like, and then I moved to Atlanta. And Atlanta was just a whole different thing. Like, you know, when you talk about game, when you start talking about like how shit systematically is, and kind of like what you was just about to say about, okay, they killed the real leaders. And Chicago's a perfect example.
Oh, yeah.
If you think about, like, with the Panthers and Fred Hampton,
Yeah.
which really was who ran the city, if you thought about it,
Exactly.
with for the people, right?
Yeah.
You get rid of Fred Hampton now, and Larry and them right there. And all that's going on at the same time.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Like,
you know,
that's even happening. Like, that's like, I was just on Facebook before we got live. There was a murder back beginning of the month. They just caught the 2 dudes that did the murder. There's people on there saying, free them niggas. I'm like, they got these niggas on camera shooting somebody. Y'all saying free them.
you talking about the Conway thing? Is that the one?
Nah, this was over off of, man, let me see if it's still on here. Probably not.
But it's the fact that we
Nah,
we have become almost like, not even say, even we become desensitized, but we have become like, we okay with poverty. We're okay with negativity.
Yeah.
We've almost romanticized everything negative about us.
Yeah.
Like all our stereotypes, we've turned them into this kind of like this jovial kind of, this is us. We're okay with it. Like, no, nobody else, no other group of people, no other minority, no other group of people highlights the negative about themselves the way we do.
No.
We put it on top of everything, and then that's supposed to be the cool shit. And it's like, no, that's not even the majority of us.
Not bad meaning bad, but bad meaning good.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a lot of this, like, so I grew up listening to hip hop, like, so that was my main genre as a kid, like teenager, whatever, or a little before that. And I even remember with that how it was different. And like now it's so funny, like I talk to dudes, man, and these dudes is say late 30s. So they not kids, they're not kids, right?
Yeah.
But their criteria and how they even think of what an artist is how it really is in the streets. Like, nah, them niggas like whatever you talking about don't matter. It's like, well, but them niggas be really having that work. Them niggas will put it down like this, and that. Like, nah, he a real street nigga. He doing this, and that. As opposed to, like, I was trying to tell them, like, they didn't even understand, like, no. There was rap music where there was no shooting. Like, there was no drugs. There was, like, if you go back, I mean, there was a period in time, and when I was growing up, like, when I first went to college, that's when, like, Brand Nubian was all, like, Tripod Quest and shit like that. X-Clan, because I went to UAPB. X-Clan came to Pine Bluff. They did a show in Pine Bluff, like, in 92 or some shit like that. I met them, like, we opened up for them.
Yeah.
Like, so I just remember where the switch was, like, because I even how they glorify NWA, like, not understanding, like, even NWA wasn't the most massive group. It's amazing how the stories get told. Like, I'm old enough to remember Tupac and Biggie, and they wasn't who the fuck they are now. Like, they wasn't, like, Tupac wasn't, like, the biggest fucking rapper in 94, 95.
The thing was,
what I'm saying?
We had versatility back then. Everybody had their lane. Like you said, I came up, in the night, late 80s, early 90s, listening to hip hop, things like that. But if you want to listen to NWA, you had that. But if you want to listen to Tribe, you had
but
that. Everybody had their own thing.
But
niggas like Tribe, excuse me.
No, go ahead.
Artists like Tribe ain't like, you have to search for artists like that now.
Exactly.
That's the type of music I like.
Exactly.
I like neo
But
soul
one
and
thing,
rap.
one thing about like when we go back to the technology, it's there though. It exists. It's not
there,
that.
but you just gotta,
it's not that. It, but see,
they're not pushing it.
But you got to remember, they never did. Like, see, I'm like I said, I'm old enough to remember that rap wasn't on the radio. Like, I grew up in Flint. I grew up in Flint. They were specialized shows.
Oh, yeah.
So rap came on like at night after 10
on
Friday and Saturday nights, right? That's when they played rap. Even Power 92 here used to have a phrase, no rap work days. So, and that's right before I started on radio. Like when I first started on radio, they was wearing shirts and ties. I was the only niggas with braids and jeans and t-shirts smell like weed. Like I was like, cause I was rapping. So I didn't care. Like I got into radio by accident. So my job was the MC. The rest of that shit was, I would do that too. You know what I'm saying? But long story short, at the same time where I had De La Soul 3 Feet High Rising, I had NWA, I had Eazy-E, I had all like Just Ice. Like I remember like Schoolie D, like the first time I ever seen like PSK, like Gucci Time, shit like that. That's a lot of the funny shit about the old rappers is the ones that you thought was soft was the hardest niggas. Like Kid from Kid and Play, like used to rob niggas, like, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of the dudes that's got this clean cut shit, bro. Like, you know.
Hammer was a goddamn
right, Hammer, right.
But thing is, they didn't put that into their music.
And it wasn't right, exactly.
But like you said with who's the guys that did the message? And I apologize.
Grandmaster Flash.
If they talked about hood shit, they wasn't bragging. They was talking about what they saw.
It was commentary.
It
was telling you like, oh, this is what happened. You know,
this is what's going on in my neighborhood that y'all don't see. And now it's like I heard what's the nigga Future say I sold crack to a pregnant lady. Sorry for the crack baby. Who the fuck says that on a fucking track?
Exactly.
Yeah, but
we went from talking about, we went from self-destruction to, being a drug dealer.
Right.
Now we're the drug users. Like it's like it took this fucking full circle of like now we went from like you said NWA just giving us the story of what's going on in the hood. Now we giving the
now we gotta live. We gotta act. Now we gotta get the actual dudes that do it rap, not the rappers. Like a lot of times rappers, and I did this myself. I was in the hood, but I wasn't doing the shit. Like, but I was all my cousins, people was so. Like, I know the story because I'm sitting there. I'm in the middle of it. You know what I'm saying? But that's not me. I do this shit. I got something else to do.
Exactly.
But I'm telling they story. It's not like certain shit. Like, but the power of the pen is crazy because the things that you say and write and concentrate on, you know what I'm saying, you actually write life. So so the issue with Tupac is like he was destined to die. Like Biggie was destined to die. The first album, if name your first album is Ready to Die.
Ready to Die.
You know what I'm saying? When Tupac always talked about the police and dying, I'm gonna die early and this and that. So of course, like you're going to I mean, but you do that anyway. Yeah. Like you do that. Like, I don't fuck this test up. I ain't gonna do. I mean, man, I ain't gonna be able to. We do it to ourselves all the time. That's self-talk, where your mind is. But just think, if that's your life. And you write this shit, because one thing about Tupac, he wrote a lot of shit, but he repeated himself a lot. Yeah. Like so if you go through a lot of Tupac lyrics, it's like he said that in this song. That's a verse from this.
I don't know Tupac like that.
But I like that about it because to me it was like you advertising your own shit. I like niggas to quote their own shit, like you know what I'm saying, to a certain point. It's like
that nigga use adversary, the word adversary. Like
boy, that's funny that you say that because my cousin we used to rap together, and he's like, "This is an adversary." Here you go, nigga. Because so this is the thing with Tupac. So I was a big Digital Underground fan because I like Shock G's production and all that shit, and like that was a prolific group because a lot of shit came from that group. Like not only Tupac, but Live Squad was kind of Live Squad wasn't with Digital Underground, but it was another group. The DJ from Digital Underground and Money B had a group. It was them. They had an album. I can't remember the name. That shit's dope. It's like crazy with sounds and shit. But like, so Tupac, when Tupac first came out, because usually people heard him on Same Song.
Yeah.
Which was in the movie, that movie, whatever. So that's the first time people heard Pac like rap.
Mm-hmm.
In Atlanta, the Greenbrier Flea Market, when growing up as a kid, it's crazy because I used to DJ. I've been DJing since I was like 11 or 12. The record stores, it's a record store called Super Sound right by Greenbrier. And the Greenbrier Flea Market is a guy who used to sell promos, the cutouts. So the 12 inches, and like like working in a radio station, you get, and DJs get all the promotional shit 6 weeks before it actually released. Now everything digital. But like when shit used to come out back in the day, you would have it way before like they pressed CDs or done other shit. The vinyl would be out.
Yeah.
So I used to go to this store, and dude would always have cutouts and promos. I had Apocalypse Now like probably about a month before it came out. And like I like dude from the jump because he was on some Panther shit.
Yeah.
Because when I was in school, like that's kind of like it's fucked up that you try to get kids to read and shit, right? But what caught me was I grew up reading, but then once I started, I guess I don't know if I read the autobiography of Malcolm X. Well, I used to listen to Farrakhan as a kid. I as probably 11 or 12, and back in say like 87, 88, I guess because Public Enemy was out, stuff like that. But like Farrakhan would come to Atlanta and like pack the Omni, like, you know what I'm saying, and do stuff and all that shit. I went to see him, I had the tapes and all that stuff. So I was into that and Public Enemy and stuff like that. So long story short, it's just kind of like that was the thing that I was into. So I was reading too. So we was intellectual. We would skip school and go to the museum.
That shit used to be cool.
We'd skip school and go to the library at Georgia State and like be in that shit, reading books on COINTELPRO and all kind of crazy shit, right? So long story short, that was a part of like my thing, you know. So Tupac kind of like, oh damn, he on the 10 points of the Panthers. His mama a Panther, and then he talking about street shit, but he was on revolutionary shit on Apocalypse Now, right? Exactly. If you listen to the song, like that's what he got in trouble for. Yeah. It was a dude. It was the song about the violent.
Yeah.
Okay, so violent. Remember, a guy got killed in Texas. A state trooper got killed, and he was playing Tupac or Gangsta Nip was what was in the car. You know, that's when they was trying to say that the music caused the dude to shoot the police officer and shit. Like this, all the shit that was going on in the early '90s, man. So to see where it is now, because in '92, Tupac was not on the radio. What people don't realize is rap wasn't on the radio in the daytime till '94.
It wasn't,
94, 95. 90, probably 94.
Yeah, back then it would be like Friday night.
But like
after 9,
it took
10,
it took Diddy. Ugh. Well, see, that's now. Okay, let me say it took Puff Daddy.
Okay.
To make radio play hip hop. Like Juicy, I remember hearing Juicy on the radio. Like I remember hearing Big Papa on the radio. Like. Because they was sampling these old ass songs, so of course these old ass DJs, okay, they playing. Oh, that's Ozzy Brothers, the Big Papa. Yeah. That's, you know what I'm saying. So this era, it was enough R&B mixed with the rap shit. It started like SWV was out, then Escape came out.
It became more popular. But
it was. I'm talking about as far as a format, like a commercial format on radio.
People like Heavy D.
Exactly. Heavy D was getting played. People like that, but that's what I'm saying. So who was big in '94? Season like 93, 94.
94. Now what happened was in '94. What happened? That's when Biggie and Puff, they were taking over with that bullshit.
It was Craig Mack.
Yeah,
it was.
I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
You just said something I didn't understand. Like, cause when I growing up, like I said, I never listened to Tupac. I'm from the East Coast, and now that you're saying that, like, that makes sense why I never really heard Tupac, and why I wasn't really into Tupac, because, like, I didn't start listening to Tupac till I got down here. My cousin, once I moved down here,
what year was that? What year was that?
Probably about either 2000 or...
He was dead. So see, like when he was dead though, it was different. See, like,
when he came, when he was like in like you said, in '94, the switch came actually because, like I said, it started with Tupac. Not say started with, but in '92, '91, like in the early '90s, you had Tupac, but then you had Trap, you had De-La, you had the Jungle Brothers, you had Queen Latifah, you had
all those could
people.
go together though. Even Tupac could go right with all that
They
at that
were all
point.
together. They were all
At that
kind of,
point.
they were all
At that
kind of
point.
meshing together because you were ushering out, because you still had LL, but
Yeah.
Run, and then we were ushering out those guys.
Yeah.
And Tupac was kind of taking over as like the sex symbol. He was kind of
Yeah.
the guy they were looking at. But
'Cause he was a
that's
movie
when
star.
But then when Puffy and Biggie came in and they did the whole, the shiny suits and that
Yeah.
shit, Mace and all them started to
Yeah.
come in. Then you had another switch, because then you still had NWA, you had the whole West Coast Spice One, DJ Quick, all those guys.
Yeah.
They're bringing that shit from the West Coast. Then back, like I said, back in '94, where it switched is when Wu-Tang came in, and Wu-Tang kind of flipped it on everybody.
Yeah.
Because they came with that, because Tupac was like that thug shit, but Wu kind of came with that grimy, like, so it was almost like they had like the antithesis of Biggie, that puffy, that with the gold shit and all that bullshit.
The flossing.
Yeah, that flossing shit.
Yeah.
So when Wu came, they came with that, that kind of
Yeah, the rugged from the hood shit. We selling dope. We God by.
They brought that shit full circle, and you still had, like you said, you still had Public Enemy, you still had X-Clan, you still had these guys kind of playing in the background, but that's how shit became more popular. Like saying Wu and all those guys kind of brung that shit in. It was kind of
But you got to look at the aspect of like what I'm saying, like commercialism, because like first Wu-Tang album came out like '92, right? So they existed at the same time with Pac and them. But see, the thing about Pac being from the East Coast and living on the West Coast, he lived everywhere. So Baltimore, New York, Oakland, all that shit. So all of that's it meshed. So he was the universal rapper. It didn't become East Coast, West Coast until he got robbed.
Yeah.
When he got robbed, because there's always been that animosity with New York and anybody else, because they felt like it was their shit. See, one thing about growing up in Atlanta, like I grew up in Atlanta, say in the mid '80s. In the mid '80s, nobody was from Atlanta where I lived. Like where I moved to College Park. Everybody on my street was from somewhere else.
That's how it is now. So
I
was just
Cleveland, there. Like the niggas cross street from Cleveland, my nigga from every borough, from Queens, Brooklyn, all of them, from different parts of Jersey, from Chicago, St. Louis, Miami, Jacksonville, a whole bunch of shit in Florida. But so my whole hood was like niggas from everywhere. So we used to have like Jam Pony Express tapes from Miami. We have DJ Red Alert tapes from New York. Like we had Electrifying Mojo from Detroit, you know what I'm saying, from WJLB, like some crazy shit. Like it's when I moved to Atlanta, it was this dude named Edward J. And Edward J was the guy, like if you go listen to some of the So Def, they had some So Def compilations in the 90s, and he on some of the intros. But he was the mix show DJ, like the mixtape DJ in Atlanta, because he owned the record store. So he would get on there and talk that shit like and niggas be mixing. Mr. Collar Park used to be DJ Smurf. That's the original. Like this nigga had a scratch called. He had the Pee Wee Herman scratch, where he took the beginning of Rock the Bells. It was like LL Cool J is hard. L. He would do the Pee Wee shit like that shit. Wow. That's DJ Smurf before he was Mr. Collar Park. This is 87 some shit, 80s, you know what I'm saying, 87, 88 shit. Like them niggas was cold. Like this the thing about it. Atlanta had its own culture as far as music, because it was so much different shit. Because of the Miami, because the dude, like the man when I came out, there was a dude named Shy D, MC Shy D. Rap music will never die. He used the Pink Panther bass line. That shit, right? He was from New York, but he was in Atlanta. So he was like Atlanta's rapper. It was Raheem the Dream or some other cats.
Yeah.
Atlanta didn't get its sound until like Organized Noise and Outkast, because up until that point it was a lot of niggas, because there was so many New York niggas down there that it was New York niggas doing shit, and it had the Florida sound and all that shit.
So many different.
And then eventually, like the Organized Noise kind of opened it up because LaFace was giving all this money. See, this what I'm saying. The difference between like radio and what we was listening to anyway, because we was buying it. It wasn't on the radio.
Yeah.
So Just Ice was just as important as Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince and the Fat Boy, like, because used to listen to everything because it had 10 songs. It wasn't 20 songs with skits and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It was like 4 or 5 songs on one side. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. So you the songs you didn't like at first, you had to listen to them. You had it on tape. Yeah. So eventually you fuck with them too. So like now, it's weird it's like I don't even listen to people's albums. Like albums come out, like I kind of go through myself, pick the songs I like that shit, and then move on to the next thing, man. So you know,
download that shit onto your phone.
The ones, yeah, you like you're not finna be listening to somebody's whole shit. It just keep going, man.
It depends on what.
Go to the next one. What is he doing? I fucked up with Outkast like that though. So check this out. So we were so excited about Players Ball because it finally sound like us. It was us. Yeah. This Atlanta, right? This our shit. Like, so when the album came out, I was listening to it. I was like, damn, that ain't Players Ball though. Like,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, man, I'm flipping through this motherfucker like, back to Players Ball, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Oh, okay, Crumb the Herb, I like that. Okay, this and that. A couple Southern players, I like that. Yeah. That was it. And I kind of put it to the side. I wasn't even fucking with it. Like, about a week or two passed. I was in the drive-thru at Checkers, and nigga was playing Get Up, Get